Welcome to Cases in Finance. I want to start us off with a guide to case study analysis. That is really the heartbeat of this course and the secret sauce for business education. Think of case analysis as a business simulator. You're stepping into real decisions faced by managers, minus sleepless nights and shareholder pressure. By the end of this session, you'll not only understand what case analysis is, but how to do it effectively and maybe even enjoy it. Case analysis bridges theory and practice. You've read models, frameworks, and theories, but a case lets you test them in the messy, unpredictable world of business. In a case, there's no perfect answer. Instead, you develop judgment, the kind every good manager needs. In real life, CEOs don't get multiple choice questions, they get gray areas. Case analysis helps you think clearly in the gray. For example, think of Elon Musk deciding whether to acquire Twitter. Was that a finance problem? A leadership one? A strategy issue? Well, the answer is yes. A business case is a true story. Numbers, people, pressures, and all. It's not fiction. It's a snapshot of a real organization facing a real problem. And so your role is to become the decision maker. Step into the manager's shoes, diagnose what's happening, and propose what to do next. Let me give you a tip here. Don't get lost in every detail. You're not Sherlock Holmes solving a crime. You're a manager solving a business challenge. Focus on patterns, not trivia. Because lectures are great for learning what others have done, cases train you to figure out what you would do. And this method flips the classroom. You do the heavy lifting. We discuss, we debate, we defend our reasoning like a boardroom of executives. And when you finish this course, you'll be equipped to face real business ambiguity with confidence. We're learning by doing. You're not just reading about business, you're doing business. We have problem like diagnosis, and real success lies in identifying the real issue. And just as a hint, it's rarely the one mentioned first in the case. Regarding industry exposure, you'll explore everything from airlines to fashion, all of it. And so by week 8, you'll feel like you've had 8 internships. Another benefit is managerial judgment. You'll start seeing both the forest and the trees. And last, pragmatic solutions. Anyone can make recommendations. You'll make ones that are implementable. I want to talk about objectives of case analysis. So here's where we're really training. We're understanding managerial decisions, spotting what worked, what didn't, and why. We build strategic analysis skills. We apply frameworks like SWOT or Porter's 5 Forces to the real data. We identify issues and plans. We find root causes, not just symptoms. We enhance business judgment. Sometimes there's really no perfect answer. You learn to make the best one. And then also you gain industry exposure. You'll see how universe principles apply differently in each sector. In short, case analysis builds muscle memory of thinking like an executive. Preparation is everything. Walking into class unprepared for a case is like showing up to a football game without knowing who you're playing. And so I realize the font is a little small on this slide, but I want to talk about the steps that you must go through for every case. And you'll do this throughout this course and anytime in the future that you do case studies. First, you want to skim for an overview, looking for the big picture. Ask yourself, what's the big picture? Then you're going to read it thoroughly, highlighting critical data points. Then you'll review exhibits. These are hidden gems, and they're in those tables and charts that you'll see. Next, you'll identify strategic issues. What's really going on? And then do the math. Financial ratios, trends, all of that often reveals the truth. You'll apply tools, and you'll use frameworks from class. Next, you'll evaluate conflicting info. And this is the real world. This is where people disagree. You're going to support your position with evidence. Opinions are fine, but evidence will win arguments. And then you will develop recommendations. And you want to end every case study with clear, feasible steps forward. Now, when we talk about these in our discussions, you'll need to jump right in. Please keep in mind, I'm not looking for, quote, the answer. I'm looking for your reasoning. So some tips for success in the case discussions. Use your notes, use your numbers. Be respectful, but challenge the ideas. Don't challenge the people, only the ideas. Add insight. I'm not looking for good job or I liked your perspective. I want you to move that conversation forward. And be confident. Even if you're wrong, defend your logic. Then learn from the rebuttal. Think of this as your training ground for executive meetings. Next, I want to talk briefly about writing a case analysis. And this is like presenting to a board. Clear, logical, and then also backed by data. So some guidelines for written analysis. Identify those key issues early. Perform that thorough analysis, the quantitative and also the qualitative. Support it with data and visuals. You'll want to also balance your argument. Consider the alternatives. And you want to end your written analysis with specific actionable recommendations. And here's a tip from me. Write for clarity, not length. The goal isn't to sound smart, it's to make sense. When we talk about oral presentations in case studies, this tells how well you can distill the complexity into clarity. Some keys to presentation success are lead with the problem statement. Present your strongest analysis first. Keep your slides visual, not text heavy. This is a mistake I often see in this class. Practice transitions as if you were presenting as a team. And anticipate questions. The toughest ones often reveal the depth of your thinking. Good analysts don't just read the case, they check the world around it. And so I want to talk about reliable sources that you will be using in your case studies. First is company filings, those 10Ks, those annual reports, industry reports, trade publications. You can also use news outlets like Bloomberg or WSJ. But let me caution you here, be skeptical and verify what you read. And always prioritize data that's recent and credible. Now, if you're analyzing, say, Tesla, don't rely on 5-year-old data because things change very fast. So you'll need to take that into consideration based on the case that you're studying. Lastly, I want to give you some golden rules. These are really even frame-worthy of case analysis. First, read the case twice. First for the story, and then second for analysis. List every problem before prioritizing. Just get them down on paper. Then you can go back and prioritize them. Be thorough. Surface answers are rarely right. Use your frameworks. Crunch the numbers. Support your opinions with evidence. And be realistic. Your plan should work outside the classroom. It should not be some idealistic view. You're thinking of how would this work in the real world. Argue your points persuasively. Logic wins hearts and minds. Address all of the major issues. Consider risks. No plan is free. Some closing thoughts. Case analysis isn't about memorizing formulas. It's about developing wisdom. And so through practice, you're going to balance data, judgment, and also leadership. In a Christian worldview, wisdom is that bridge between knowledge and discernment, between knowing what's right and doing what's right. As Proverbs 4:7 says, wisdom is supreme, therefore get wisdom. Though it cost all you have, get understanding. Your task as future leaders, seek understanding that builds value, not just for shareholders, but for people.